So I know this is on stereo. It's going to be playing from one side. I wonder how it's going to work. So I'm just testing it out. And I was gonna make this video. They're called work with me's apparently. I don't know, bro. But I'm going to be spamming with the freaking videos. Like I'm gonna be editing this next video. I already posted two more on TikTok, so I'm going to focus on YouTube now. And I'm going to post on Rumble. I'm going to see how that works out. I have a couple questions about Rumble. But yeah, I wanted to make a shout out to Kim Harrison. She writes the Hollow series, and she lowered the price for her Hollow series. She basically bought it for me. Like, they were $23 a piece, but she lowered them to $3. So I bought the first bundle. When did I buy the first bundle? The first bundle I bought at full price on May 12th. And then, so she then lowered the second bundle on May 15th for $5. And I bought it, of course, because she basically bought it for me. And in bundle three, she lowered it on June 1st, and right now it is June 7th, and I bought it, a couple of days back. So shout out to her for buying those for me. Those books really got me through my. I forgot how many times I've been to the hospital at this point. Like, I've been to the hospital, I think over 5 or 6 times, right? So it was one of the last ones, the last times I went to the hospital. Oh my gosh, I went to the hospital so many times I can't remember. I'm going to get an Excel sheet that explains how many times I went to the hospital, and I'll be able to explain it more fully to you guys. But it's been a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's been a bunch of times. So um, I feel like she has a couple of questions for me. So her first question is how did I pay for rent? Now, rent, I actually paid for it with my credit card. So I see here that she's paying for rent by Rachel, the character in the book in the Hollow series. She is working odd jobs, and not odd jobs, she's working her professional job, and she is making money, and her rent is like, I forgot how much her rent is. I think it's like 650. I think it's about the same exact amount as my rent. So I was paying 650 for my first apartment, and $650 a month. I got it from Rutgers. Rutgers has a site where you can go on, and they specifically have apartments for rent for students. So I was a Middlesex County College student, so I had the Middlesex County College email. So I knew that they would be looking for scams and whatnot, so I didn't want to use my Gmail account. So I used my school email account. Like, if I didn't go to Middlesex, I probably wouldn't have been able to get the apartment. See, like, the way things fell into place for me really like gets me in that mindset of like, this is not spontaneous stuff. This is really, there is a master plan to all of this. And I guess that's where paranoia comes from. And I don't think paranoia is that bad of thing, meaning that it makes sense. Paranoia makes sense. It's like, okay, I'm going to be walking down the street, and this dude is going to walk down the street, and he is going to get on his phone and ask, is it going to rain today? So that tells me to, should I check that if it's going to rain today or not? And he's walking with an umbrella. So that means that that guy was telling me that it's going to rain. So either get home or buy yourself an umbrella or something. It's about to rain. Honestly, honestly, that that is how paranoia works. That's the inner workings of it. It's based off of just like real events that happen to you, and you can find the connections in between it. So I got my that's how I got my first apartment. My first roommate was Zach, and Zach was an Asian kid. I'm pretty sure he was younger than me. He didn't smoke weed. I was the only one that smoked weed. He said he didn't have a problem with it, but I'm sure he did have a problem with it. Like, the apartment was always smoky. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine just being at your house. Just imagine being at your house in at your parents' house and smoking, and your parents being cool with it. Just imagine that type of setting. So like, I was in my room, I was smoking, I was in the living room smoking, I was in the kitchen smoking, I was in the backyard smoking. We had this little like deck in the back, and yeah, I was just smoking it up, bro. Smoking it the fuck up. My friends would come over, we would smoke. I would wake up, I would smoke. And I was just doing this back to back, nonstop. And I couldn't do my job. I couldn't find a job. I couldn't hold a job. Like, weird things started happening, very weird things. And it's like omens. It's really like Rachel does witchcraft. And it's really like that. It's like living in a world where you notice that these people exist. So like in the Hollow series, the humans didn't know that the paranormal side existed. They kind of just like ignored it or whatever, because it must have been pretty fucking obvious, but apparently it wasn't obvious until the turn. And after the turn, that's when everybody started to really notice. That's when they basically said like, okay, there are people here that are not exactly human. So that's what it was like when I met stoners. It was like, these people are a completely different breed of people. They're completely different. They're like, you know, it's like so in Greek mythology, Ares, Apollo made, I think, was it Apollo that made the Atlanteans, and Zeus made the humans. I might be saying this wrong. My bad if I'm fucking this up. But the Atlanteans are different than humans. The Atlanteans are a different breed. And it was like meeting the Atlanteans for the first time. It was like meeting a witch for the first time. It was like meeting a werewolf for the first time. It was like meeting a vampire, but really it was like meeting a vampire, because the vampires in every mythological book, they talk about vampires as if they are this beautiful being. And that's who I essentially felt like I met. Like I met this dude Dan, and he had his shit together, and all other drug dealers didn't stand out as much as him. So I didn't make like a fuss about it. Like I didn't really care. Like I smoked when I was 16. I started smoking when I was 16, and we were just in high school, bro. We were just doing it up in high school. And the sellers were, it was Beeve. I'm pretty sure it was Beeve, and Beeve was on the football team, and I played football, and I started smoking because I was on the football team. Like I was going to probably smoke regardless, but the way I was introduced to it was by my football teammates, and it was the best experience ever. So I smoked on and off. I never really got like addicted to it. Like there were times I've never really smoked alone. Like there were times where I mostly smoked with people, but there was like this one time that stuck in my head that I smoked by myself. I took a Black and Mild, right? And I what you do is that you take the guts out by rubbing it. This is how you smoke a Black and Mild. You rub it. I'll show you, bro. I'll freaking show you. You, I can't show you. I don't know if my sister's gonna walk in and she's gonna see a Black and Mild, and I'm gonna be like, bro, it's just for a video. But you roll it in your hands, and it takes the tobacco out. The tobacco drops out, right? So you take out all the tobacco, and then you repack it. But what I did is I took weed and the tobacco, and I mixed it together. I didn't know what I was doing. It's called a spliff, but a Black and Mild is much stronger tobacco than a cigarette. So I mixed it together, and then I stuffed it back into the Black and Mild. And I did this in my room. And at that time, I was sleeping with Diana. I don't know why Diana was there. I don't know why I was in her room, but we were sleeping in the same room for a little bit. I mixed it up, and I went to school, and I think I skipped my class, and I went to go smoke. I don't think I skipped. I think I was going home. Like I was planning on going home, but yeah, I definitely skipped. I was all by myself, walking to the back of the school, and then as soon as I got clear of the school grounds, like there's this gate, and after you get after the gate, I started smoking it a little bit after the gate, and I was walking, and then I felt so I my head started spinning. I was just like I couldn't take it, bro. It was too strong. It was way too strong. So I was just sitting there like, holy shit, bro. Like I don't feel too good. So like I'm smoking this thing, I'm walking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I finished it. I probably tossed like half of it. Was it a dime or a dub? I think it was a dime. A dime is zero point 0.5 grams of weed. You don't get those anymore. It's eighths and up. I don't think they sell grams. Do they sell grams at dispensaries? I gotta double check. But they definitely sell like pre rolls. You could definitely get a pre roll, either zero point 0.5 or a gram. So like, no, this is what I mean. Like talking about it and making people comfortable about weed. The way that we brought it in, it's a scientific way that we brought it in. And it was just like it can help with seizures. All right, this is why we're bringing weed in. No, it's like, bro, there's a whole story behind it. There's a reason why. There's a reason why people do it. There is so much history behind it, and the people that get caught doing it, you want to ask them the questions. You want to be like, well, what was going through your mind when you were smoking weed? And I was just like, bro, it was nothing. I didn't think it was anything bad. Like, I know I was breaking a rule, but while I was breaking it, I didn't think that it was bad. Like, I didn't do it with malice. I didn't go in and was like, I'm going to smoke this weed because the government says I can't. So there must be some secrets behind it. Like, no, it wasn't secrets or anything. It was purely just instinct. And for you to punish instinct is absolutely crazy, bro. Like, I understand a person that murders, but I don't think that you should treat them the way that you treat them because they murder, even if they murder. It doesn't matter how many people they murder. And honestly, like, to the reason why we punish them is because, like, we mostly don't know what happens after death. So we in, assume we assume that death is a scary thing, but it's not really a scary thing. Like, we get mad at murderers because they hurt people in a way that is so painful, and like we don't want anybody to go through it, but so we punish them. But they're not doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, nothing they're doing is an absolute intent on someone's life. Like, it's just like, I was born into this world and I just did it. I didn't want to do it. Like, I just do it. And it's scary because it feels like I'm going to do it again. You know what I mean? So like, that's what it was like smoking. Um, but do I feel like I have to smoke again? Like, no, I really don't feel like I have to. I feel like if anything, it's going to be an experiment to see how I feel. But I know that I can't do it because, like, if I do it, they're probably going to drug test me. And if they catch THC in my system again, they're going to put me back in rehab or something like that. They're gonna do something bad to me. So like, I don't feel like I have to smoke at all. Like, it's not definitely not a thing that I feel like I have to do. I just feel like it's a very long life, and for me not to smoke for the rest of my life is a tragic thing, bro. Probably a bad word to use. But yeah, like, I got my apartment and I was paying like 650 for it. Um and I paid with my credit card. Like, I I used my ex-girlfriend's, I used Randy's debit card and her social security. Like, how did I get her social security? Bro, it was because we went I wanted to go traveling with her. So we went to get our passports together, and we were on and off, on and off. Like, we were terrible. Like, we were absolutely, I was trying to hold on to something that wasn't there anymore, and she was just giving me a pity party every single time. And I wanted to travel, and I was like, let's get our, I got her, oh my gosh, this thing with Randy is so disparaging. I'm making up words. I make up words, bro, because I'm terrible at talking. I talked about this like with aphasia, but the whole thing was just pretty sad. So I got her a job. I didn't get her the job, but I pushed her in that direction. I was like, why don't you get a job instead of just like sitting at home and doing nothing? But we played football together. She didn't play football. She was the manager of the football team, and I played football. But I got her. I was like, let's get our passport because I want to travel. She's like, all right, fine. So she fills out the paper and then she gives the paper to me. And I was like, I'm going to take care of this. I never took care of it. I got my passport done, but she never got hers done. And on the passport application, it asks for your social security number. So that's how I got her social security number because you need that for PayPal. And I opened up an account with her name, and then I charged my credit card with her account on PayPal. It's like $700 because there was like a $50 transaction fee that you had to go through. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. I shouldn't even be talking about this. But that's what I did. You got to remember that I was already in psychosis at this point. I was just connecting the dots that were given to me. How do I get money? I asked Diana. I was like, "How do you pay for rent?" And she was like, "I use a credit card." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. How do I use a credit card to pay for rent?" I I should ask her how she did it again just to get a clearer picture. But she tells me to use a credit card, and I'm like, okay, how do I use a credit card? And then I was like, okay, if I get PayPal. And I was just connecting the dots, and I was just like, okay, this is how you do it. And this is what I mean by like it feels like the universe is like pushing you towards something. Like I know I was sick the whole time, but the path was so clear and cut. Even though it was the wrong path, it was a path. It was a path to independence and to freedom. And it took full advantage of that, full advantage. And I saw it firsthand, and it was scary. It was very scary. I'm not going to lie. Like, very, very scary. But I did it, and it started getting scary towards the end. In the beginning, it was fun. So I quit my job at Costco and I started paying with my credit card, $700 on the credit card. And I did the math real quick, real rough rap math. I was just like $700 into 6,000. Okay, I have like 11 months. Okay, 11 months. No, I had like 9 months or something like that. I was like, okay, 9 months. And then I have to get a job before then. So I was planning on getting a job. I was like, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to get a job. I'm sitting there like looking on Craigslist, and I'm just like, let me just relax a little bit. And Dan was telling me, he was like, we'll find a job for you. We'll find a job for you. Dan is my drug dealer. Uh, he was like, we'll find a job. And I was constantly trying to like calm down. Like, I was constantly trying to tell myself, like, you're going to get a job. You're going to get a job. You have like 9 months to think about it, like, really think about it. and I started looking for jobs that pay 100,000. And no, that was later on. That was later on. In the beginning, I was just looking for any job. I was looking for jobs that I got to work at home with, because I saw that Dan was working from home. So I was like, bro, this is the life. I have to be able to work from home too. Like that's a necessity. So that's how I was paying for rent, through, did I have insurance or anything? My insurance was weed, bro. I wasn't thinking about paying for insurance. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. My parents weren't, they thought that I was good. They were like, you have a job at Costco. This is what they saw on paper. You have a job at Costco. Costco should pay you enough to pay for your car insurance and pay for your house. And you want to live on your own, so we're going to do this the right way. And you're going to be on your own. Like, we're not going to give you any money or anything. Like, they weren't going to help. It's pretty sad. But like when you move out, they're like, you're on your own. That's how my parents are. So my dad, he bought me a going away present. He bought me a car as a going away present. Really nice, dude. Like it was like, I think he spent like 2,300 on it. And I was like, okay, I can get 2,300 for this car too. So then like a month, maybe two weeks in, maybe a month in to moving into New Brunswick with the car, I was like, this thing is leaking antifreeze. And I was like, all right, if it's leaking antifreeze, let me tell my dad that. I told my dad that. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to sell the car because it's not good. The car was perfectly fine, bro. The car was perfectly fine. But I was like, let me sell the car. Let me try to get something else. I had a motorcycle, so I was like, all right, I can at least get around with that. And I don't have a job right now, so I don't have to worry about it raining or it getting cold, or I'll be able to get back on my feet. So I did everything with the intent of getting back on my feet immediately. Like I was like, I'm gonna be able to bounce back. I see people do it all the time. I can do it too. I'll bounce back from this. So I sold the car for 2,300, and then I went straight to Dan's house and I was like, "Can I get a pound?" And I bought a pound, and he was like, "Where did you get this money?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I was sitting there laughing. I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" He was like, "Where did you get this money?" And I was just like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." He's like, "No, no, no. Where did you get this money?" I was like, "All right, all right." I sold my car. And he was like, "All right, all right. Well, we're going to celebrate." And I was like, "Celebrate for what?" And he was like, "Because you just made a really smart decision to buy a pound of weed. Because now, when you buy a pound of weed, that becomes rolling income, essentially." I'm thinking back. No, I just started thinking. I was like, wait, wait, wait. I thought he fronted me this weed, but no, he kind of did and didn't at the same time. Like I did pay for it up front, and I've overpaid one more other time. I'm just thinking back. I'm like, I feel bad because I'm like, I left him in such debt. I think I owed him like $900 after everything was done. But yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah, bro. I feel like that was a question that she had, and I wanted to answer it as clear as possible. Like that's essentially how my schizophrenia works. It's like I'm able to talk to 100 people at a time, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, okay, they want me to answer questions, they want me to do this, they want me to do that. And that's why it's so scary, because like I'll do things and I won't think about it. Like, I'll be thinking about it, but not really. I'll do things and I won't really think about it. I guess that's the best way to explain it. I'm not doing things viciously or anything like that. I am just going with the flow. So I'm just going with the flow with stuff. And that's essentially how it comes out. But like, am I talking to people right now? Am I hearing voices right now? Like, no. I do a lot of mental checks throughout the day, and it sucks because I'm like, if I'm playing a video and I hear like two videos at the same time, like let's say there's two videos playing at the same time, one is talking and one is playing music, right? Or yeah, one is talking, one is playing music. I'll think that the one that's talking is voices, and I'll start freaking out, and then I would have to like shut off my phone, and I would be like, okay, so it's not voices. All right, calm down. Because what they do, they explain what schizophrenia is, right? And the only thing that you can do at that point is pick out the different things that tells you that you're having an episode, and you're running it through your mind, and you're just seeing if it's happening. Like, they say that you hear voices, you hallucinate. I've never hallucinated, so that's not something that I check for. That doesn't go through my mental check. But I did hear stuff. So that's always going through a mental check. But mostly it's the fact that I was doing things and it was like I had no control over my body. You know what I mean? Like, towards the end, it started getting real bad, where I was like fighting my body not to do something. And I was just fighting it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen. And I would have to wait for the feeling to go get past. Like, it's scary. It is scary. It's really bad too. It's really bad. Like, schizophrenia is a terrible disease. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Like, I'm too scared to drive. I get scared all the time. I get worried all the time. Like, it's like paranoia, but it's not paranoia because it's real. So it's just like, oh my gosh, am I gonna do something random? Like, it's stuff like that. It fucking sucks, bro. But I have to know that I'm on medication, and that the medication does help, and that I won't do anything crazy as long as I don't start smoking weed again, as long as don't start doing drugs again, like that doesn't interact with the medication. Like, before, I was able to, that was a really depressing 10-15 minutes. But before, when I first, when I was first put on the medication, I overdosed. Then I stopped taking the medication. And then they put me on the shot form of medication. And when I got on the shot, I was good for a year. Like, I was going to work, I was going to school. I finished I finished college. I was working at Amazon. everything I did, I hated it. Hated it. I was like, this is not me, bro. This is not me. What am I doing? I don't feel good. I don't feel normal. There's something wrong with me. And I can't write anymore. What the hell? Like, I used to be able to write. Now I can't write anything. Where's my creativity? Where has it gone? And I was just so angry and so confused that I was like, I made a heist, bro. I was like, bro, I'm going to get off this medication and I'm not gonna take it anymore. So I was still in psychosis like that. And I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me. Like, I am perfectly fine. I don't need medication, especially not this medication, especially with the way that it's making me feel. And I'm doing things that I don't want to do. I never heard of disability at this point. I was never going to stop. That was the scary thing about it. When I talk about, I made a video the other day where I talked about like what drug dealers do. Like, we're not looking to hurt people. We're just looking for a way to access our potential, to access unlimited energy, to feel good all the time, to look at a picture and see something different. That's what we're trying to do, because that's who we are essentially. Like, we're people that have looked at this drug, and instead of being like, no, that drug, I shouldn't take that drug, or instead of being like, oh, that drug stinks. Like my mom, she thinks that weed smells bad. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it smells bad. It smells like a skunk. And I'm like, it does not smell bad. Every time I'm outside and I smell it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's the best smelling thing ever. But oh, I just lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. This is what happens, bro. This is what happens. This is naturally how I have to talk. Like, I can, as you can see, like for the past 20 minutes I was doing well, but right now I just completely forgot. But this happens much quicker when I'm talking to someone, because the act of talking and remembering at the same time is really hard, really bad. But yeah, I guess I'll end with that. Like, we're not trying to be bad people. We just are who we are, and we can't do anything about it. But to punish us for it is absolutely crazy. I say this a lot, but hopefully my videos, hopefully my videos clear this up, that schizophrenia is a generational thing. It's in our genes. 4 out of 5 cases, 4 out of 5 cases is through genes. It's through genetics. They've got it from a family member. Family had it, and now they have it, and it's a generational thing. It happens in your genes. So, although weed is a trigger for it, the fact that it is already there, I think, plays more significance. The fact that it's already there, that means that every action that that person takes from the time that they were born till 21 is usually when you get schizophrenia, is the steppings of schizophrenia. Like, that's how I believe it. Like, bro, absolutely, absolutely. That's 100% how I believe it. Like, why do I like weed so much? What made me go back to it why was I pushing so much? All of that was a culmination of, and like I was always going to personally pick weed as something, as a profession that I wanted to do. Like, no, excuse me, Mike. I have to go eat something. So I'm gonna go eat something. Yes, my stomach was just okay. I guess that's the other bad thing that happened. So like after smoking and after doing sassafras and weed at the same time. I'm sorry if I'm skipping around a lot. I'm starting to forget what I'm talking about. But I started passing gas. But we'll leave that for next time, bro, because I should finish it, but I'm gonna go eat something. But that was a nice talk. Thank you, Kim Harrison. I'm gonna dedicate this video to you so you know a little bit about your readers. That's my story. So I read this book in the mental hospital. I read White Witch, Black Curse. So book number 6 of the series. I started off on book number 6. It was just in their library. They had really small libraries in mental hospitals. So I want to change that. I also want to bring books to jails so inmates have something to read, because all they have is basically the Bible, and it's like, what the hell? I've never been to jail, but I've been close enough to see how much stress it puts on you. And but if you're in the right mindset, you can get through it, but it's still very, very hard, like regardless. But yeah. Thank you, Kim Harrison, for lowering the books and basically buying them for me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. I'm gonna read. I'm on book number 2 right now. I'm on book number 2, and Rachel is running from the wares, and she did a job for $500, and we're at that. So I'm like in the very beginning of the book. But yeah, thanks again.